Check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a miner. But made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash Nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather, be weather, be tripping, starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. As usual. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, Lucius. Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a slice, extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge to tell her? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame, ever blinking the rain? It helps when your wise drive. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
I have seen everything that has ever happened, ever will happen, ever could happen, and yet, what the hell is this?
Are you ready?
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver. Dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd without fear. Got the homie Bryan, comic breakdown. Which, by the way, if you're watching this stream, Bryan is tagged in the title. So if you want to go show some love over there on his side of things, make sure you go do that. Go over there. Click on the little buttons. There's a big red button. Click on that one, and you get everything. Click the bell too while you're over there. Go do that. Bryan, how you doing? What's going on?
Good, man. I'm excited to talk about the final ending of the Krakoan era.
The real ending. This is if this was near Automata, it'd be like ending like, was it 2B6 or something like that? Yeah. Well, it's funny because now with the kind of the benefit of hindsight, you and I actually talked about this a little bit kind of briefly on the Hero Mode podcast earlier this week. But it did kind of feel like you get to the end of the Krakoan era. You do like the Fall of the House of X, Rise of the Powers of 10. You get through all that, X-Men Forever, and all that stuff. And you get to this, and it kind of feels like I had a lot of feelings. About it. Like I will go ahead and say right now, I ultimately enjoyed it. For the most part, and that's really just X-Men 35, which is technically issue 700. I ultimately enjoyed it, but man, that motherfucker was long.
That's why I only did 2 videos today.
Yeah.
It took me like 40 minutes to record it, and after I chopped it up and got it all ready, it was like down to 20 minutes. I was like, I think I'll do Ultimates and I'll call it a day.
Yeah. So like I was kind of in a similar boat. I started working on mine. I kind of came out about the same. I averaged about like 40 minutes. I ended up only cutting it down to like 30, but like I kept wanting to go back and add for context on certain shit. And then I kept doing it so much to the point I was like, the video was almost back to 40 minutes. So I just cut all of it and said, no, we're not doing this. I was like, this is too much. And like you said, there was other books that came out, that you wanted to check out. Same for me. I mentioned like before we went live, I was like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha came out, and I was like, I really want to read that. Yeah. There was, the Ultimates came out. I read that, and I was like, I really want to do a video for that. And there was lots of other stuff, like Scarlet came out, and there was I think there was, even though I don't really care about the Blood Hunt tie-ins, there was the Wolverine Blood Hunt tie-in, which I was like, let's see if this is worth reading. I don't know if it's gonna be worth reading. We're gonna see if it is. There's lots of stuff that I want to check out, but I was like, man, like I think what was it? It was like 75 pages, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It was close to, if you don't count the little small information pages or the ones with the symbol and a quote in them.
Yeah, like it was a lot. I mean, it wasn't bad. Like I said, it wasn't. I was entertained. I want to make it sound like I wasn't entertained, but and seeing all the different artists come in that have worked on all the various like X books over the last like 4, almost 5 years, whatever. It was cool, but man, by the time I got to the end, I was like, all right, just go ahead and get me to the new shit, because I was like, I'm kind of ready. I like just throw me in the deep end. I'm ready. It's but don't do it right away. Give me a month. I need a month of recovery, and then I can do it.
No, yeah, I definitely feel you on that. It got exhausting there for a while. It was hard to cover all that, because it was back to back. Fall of X, and it was taking up every single title almost, and you had to cover every single title if you wanted to keep up with the story. And so it got exhausting. Like, yeah, it was great. It was great for a lot of aspects, but at the same time, like, it took up so much time. And I am happy to move on to other things. Like I was telling you off screen, I have so many other titles I want to catch up on, like Venom and Carnage and Doctor Strange. Stories I was actually enjoying, just couldn't keep up with because X titles were taking up so much of my time. But like I had said in my video, I called this months ago. Like this is exactly how I expected for the writers of Marvel to end this era. Like it was without a doubt how they were going to do it. There was too much that they had built up just to wipe it away. And
Right.
you know, they really and they marketed so highly saying that this was the end of Krakoa. I was like, you're marketing this so much, I don't believe you. Like you're saying it so much, at this point, like it's like somebody says that they're a good guy over and over and over.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
probably not a good guy.
Well,
So, you know,
no, not at all.
yeah, so I was just I was like, I don't think this is the end. I think they're going to find a way to keep a lot of this, and exactly what they did. And I'm glad they did. You know, we have 15 million mutants that are in the white hot room that are doing their own thing, that are essentially children of the Vault. Accelerating at a speed. So who knows what can even come of that, and how they're going to deal with that later on, because it's at some point somebody's going to have to recognize that there's an advanced mutant civilization out there that's surpassing them just in droves. Um, and then I'm excited about Araco because those are
Yeah.
stories that we can create brand new mutants. Create, you can have a writer come in, create something completely new, have a lot of fun with it. You can be very violent with it because it's part of their culture. Warring is their culture, so you can really go down that avenue with mutant abilities and really just have fun with it. Um, all in all, it's not bad. Like I said, I expected this to be the overall outcome for what they're doing, and I don't see how they could have done it any differently than what they did without it being
No.
bad, without it being really bad.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I came at it from. Like, you don't do this in any other way, really. Like, it ends the only way it can, the only way it should. It ends with for those, if you haven't, obviously we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna spoil the shit out of it. So if you want to go, for whatever reason you clicked on this and you wanted to go in cold, I have no idea what to tell you. You're gonna hear some shit. But the thing for me was that we had and actually I it's kind of funny. This is one of those that it came up. This came up in a super chat. It was the thing that, like, I thought it was cool, but I did not care. And it was the whole, like, apocalypse thing. Like, it was cool, but I did not care. Like,
Yeah.
it was one of those, like, it's like, man, this is an awesome thing to see happening, like, in real time, seeing Apocalypse beating the brakes off of Exodus. And here, let me see if I can actually pull this up. Beating the brakes off of Exodus on top of it kind of technically getting shit on a little bit. He was getting shit on a little bit by some of our other mutants. But here, I want to pull this up just so we can kind of, hey, let me pull you back up, because I think you are now hidden from me. And I didn't plan for this. So here, we're going to go back to this before I do it, because I did not prepare for this part of it. But we literally had a big dukaroo. Like, you had to have a fight, because otherwise there's no action. There's no action in this book without without the apocalypse stuff, which I totally get. It was still kind of one of those things. I was like, man, I really didn't need this part. Like, if it just would have been straight up exposition, like all the way across the board, I think we actually all would have been a little better for it. Just because maybe they could have tied up some loose ends a little bit better than what we ultimately got. But I mean, I'll take what I can get at this point. Like I said, it was kind of one of those things. It is what it is at this point. But
Yeah, it was an interesting direction to go. I was really surprised that they flipped Apocalypse so quickly.
yeah,
They had him becoming, the revelation, and he was on a more peaceful journey. And then the minute he hears that this civilization is doing really good and they're not praising him like a god, he starts smashing Kafka. It's like,
I was like,
was that
come on,
like
man.
you could have saved this for like the era of Apocalypse? You know what I mean? It like you could have saved that whole fight. You could have had him coming in and been like, no, I didn't like everything going on. Have some kind of fight on Araka or something like that. This book honestly didn't need action. I like you said, it could have tied in or made more elaborate to the other endings of stories, tying those out and really flushing them out better than because it was just so quick. It was just like, oh yeah, by the way, there's 15 million Ganosians, and we're not going to tell you any of the mutants that are back. We're just going to show you a giant crowd of people.
I would have rather, honestly, I would have rather them have done with that extra time, because like I said, if you cut out the Apocalypse stuff, you get like, I think that was, here, I want to say that was about roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of like 8 pages, I think, worth of like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I mean, the part with the Exodus, I was like, that could have been all the action and been done with it right there.
Yeah.
But like when you get into the actual, like, from the Kafka slam to, and then you cut out the Doctor Doom, the 2 pages of Doctor Doom that kind of sprinkle in the middle there. That's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that was funny too. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, Doom stole a Krakoa seed.
Well, yeah, I was like, dude, it's about 11 or 12 pages worth of fight. Like, and here, I'll pull this up so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But like right here, bam, it's like, Wolverine getting shit on. Apocalypse getting shit on right back.
Right, plucked out his eyes.
Yeah, I was like, dude, man, Kurt, you're better than this. But I mean, I totally get it. And then like here, you got Colossus, hitting him with the Shuriken, like straight out of Street Fighter. I think that was the other kind of thing too, is that like there were some characters who got a little more, they got a little more of a moment, I guess. Yeah. Like, but I felt like it could have been more like right here, like with Sunfire, I was like, this was kind of a mix, like a missed opportunity for the most part. Cause I was like, I mean, technically they kind of address some of that stuff in like X-Men Red, but like the idea of what history Apocalypse and Sunfire have with one another and just kind of like boiling it down to 1 page. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. But also it seemed really out of character. It really seemed out of character for Apocalypse. I wasn't really even thinking about it on this level when I was initially reading and I even did the video, but like going back then I was like, man, why is he so mad? Like they literally did the thing. They did the thing
super
he wanted.
Petty.
Yeah.
And then like he just punches some people and then Gene's like, yo, chill. Read their minds real quick. And then he's like, oh, okay, I get it. And then he goes up to Arako and he's like, I don't get it. I don't like it.
He doesn't get it again. Like, well, and it's like, I know we got to set up X-Men Era of Apocalypse. I get it. I know that we have to do that and whatnot. But I'm really hoping that, man, I'm really hoping they figure out some kind of way to make this work for Apocalypse, because I actually liked the idea of him being kind of the elder statesman, being the guy who's trying to be a mentor to the next generation of mutants. And I feel like you kind of undermine a little bit of his story if you go back to Heralds of Apocalypse, where we saw an Apocalypse who was more open to peace, more open to not living by the sword so much. And obviously a lot of stuff's happened between now and then, but it felt like when we got the Krakoan era, we got that Apocalypse, even though we didn't know we had that Apocalypse back then, but like, we got that Apocalypse back, kind of retroactively. And then you get to this and it's like, he's like, I'm mad now. And then like kind of being dismissive to Richter. Richter's like, hey man, look, calm down. He's like, look, just calm down. And Apostle's like, no, I don't want to calm down. He's like, you betray me? I was like, all right, man, look, just, it felt like those moments where like, if you ever been around like drunk people and like there's acting out of pocket and you're trying to calm them down, that's what this whole thing kind of felt like to me. It was like, It's like, man, he's been drinking. All right, let's man, come on in here, man. But I do agree. I do agree. Yeah, he stood on business. He stood 10 toes down on business. It was sad that it was the wrong business. But I do agree, Damaris. I do agree. I do agree that it was cool. I just wish it was in a different book.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Just in a different book.
Yeah,
Like, it would have been fun to see him. You go up to Morocco, and he, like I said, it's going to be fun to see him on Morocco doing his thing up there.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for that. It was just very drastic, like you said. It was almost like he was intoxicated and just started thrashing.
Like he starts pushing people around. All of a sudden, like he starts slapping everybody that's near him, and like everybody's like, "No, stop!" But no, it was weird, and I was like, "Man," I was like, "Dude, they're literally doing the thing that you told them to go do."
Yeah,
they went and made the world that you thought was possible, that Genesis told you was not possible. They went and made it.
Yep, they made the perfect utopia,
and hopefully will not be forgotten. Like Utopia. I just have the sneaking suspicion, like the promise of Krakoa returning at some point. I feel like it's gonna be one of those things we don't talk about that anymore. We don't talk about Krakoa anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna fade off at least for quite a while.
Yeah.
They're not gonna mention Krakoa for a while.
Well, the only way I can see it is if whether it's from the ashes or anything, whatever comes after. I feel like it's all dependent on what the reaction is to whatever's next and whatever comes after that. Like, because I kind of feel like that was one of the things. Well, Utopia mostly fell prey to the fact that Disney didn't want to have X-Men as a main attraction anymore. But this, I could easily see it being one of those things where it's like, now this other stuff is cooking now, so we're just gonna stick with that. Like, and we'll maybe 20 years from now we'll talk about Krakoa again. But to go back to something you had mentioned earlier, we talked about Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's got a whole ass Krakoan seed. We don't know what is going on here. When I was initially looking at this, I was like, man, I don't really like this. This seems like pie in the sky for later. This is
Is he gonna create his own? Like, is it a seed to grow another Krakoa? Like,
a part of me wondered if it was like something to create a gate, but I don't know. Like, it's difficult to say what he's gonna do with it, because it depends. Like, Doctor Doom is only as good or evil as his options, depending on who's writing him. And
what can his magic mix with the Krakoan seed do?
Right.
And then, like you said, he's got his whole ass X-Men team that are just OP as hell. Like, he's absolutely devastated. It's crazy what they did with him with this Krakoan era. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna give Doom more power.
Well, he was one of the characters that I felt no one was really talking about, who got a really big glow up. For a guy that's not a mutant, he's not really even in a not to say he's never gone. I mean, he's gone against the X-Men before, but by and large, traditionally speaking, he's not an X-Men villain.
Yes.
And not in the strictest sense. He's not a guy they usually tango with. And the fact that they have tied him a bit more to the X-Men, granted, it took them a while to figure it out. I know they kind of tried early on with the X-Men Fantastic Four crossover they did, like, kind of early on. And then you had him pop up in I believe it was Sword at one point, and you just kind of you would see him here and there.
He was sprinkled in.
Yeah, and then by the time you get to Jerry Duggan's X-Men, where you see him and his X-Men actually show up more often, it was, and also damn near by the end of it, it was kind of one of those things. Like, damn, I was like, man, Doom's out here, man. Dude's got a whole X-Men team. He's got mutants that are out here, like, that are ready to ride for him, and he's also, like, proving that he has technology that can, even get the attention of, Charles Xavier. Like, he has his own version of Cerebro, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, what's this guy been doing this whole time? Like, what has he been doing this whole time? Like, what? And then not only that, even saying like, oh yeah, by the way, man, sit down and have some pancakes. It was just,
you guys chill, have some food.
Yeah, it's like, dude, y'all just hang out here, man. We got you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be anything like right away. I really don't. I feel like this is just something for down the stretch. Like, someone will probably play with it later. Maybe, I don't know, because I feel like pretty much anyone that's writing this has moved on to other stuff. So
yeah,
who knows there. The thing I was not expecting, and even though I saw the solicits for it, I wasn't expecting Nightcrawler to get as much panel time. Even though I knew he was getting a segment, I didn't realize like how deep off they were gonna go with it. What did you think of the Nightcrawler stuff?
Nightcrawler's, he definitely had a huge character arc throughout the entirety of this. It was really something different, but I liked it. It was a lot of fun. It really, in this one specifically, we get to see him be a lot more violent. His religion not necessarily went away, but his religion definitely was tested, and he kind of found his own religion in mutantdom itself. And so I think overall he had I don't know if I necessarily like the idea, like, because I'm not necessarily religious myself, but I love the idea of Nightcrawler being so Catholic and so devoted to his religion. And to see that changed up so much is definitely taking some getting used to. But I don't hate the idea that he's more into like a mutant type religion than necessarily Catholicism.
Right. Like, he's trying to find his place.
Yeah. And he even he had that relationship for a while that was even a little bit out of character for what he was becoming. But no, I think in this it was a lot of fun. He pretty much saved Wolverine's ass, making sure that he didn't get ripped into little pieces.
It was about to happen. It was literally on the verge of happening.
Him pulling out the eyes of Apocalypse was some gangster shit. Like, I gotta hand it to him.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty hard. He comes back to Wolverine with both eyeballs in hands, like, just bro, that's hard.
Well, like the thing that actually shocked me was over the course of his time, we saw him. Yeah, like I said, he was going for the mutant religion. He ended up tangling with Onslaught of all people. It was a Way of X, and kicking it with Legion, and doing all the I guess the having his own team, in the astral plane. I mean, yeah, when you really think about it, of just about any X character, I mean, Wolverine had a long running 50-issue series, but I mean, honestly, there are very few characters I can think of outside of Wolverine and Storm who I feel got a lot of like glow up time, a lot of good, solid storytelling, but at the same time, Nightcrawler is like right there. Like, he's like right there. Like, he did it like in a very slick way. Like, it was almost like they gave you a lot of Nightcrawler, but didn't really, because he didn't have a book called Nightcrawler. All of his books were, whatever books he was in, it was always either a team or some kind of like ensemble of some sort, or you had him as Uncanny Spider-Man, which I enjoyed, but I felt like it kind of missed some opportunities with the character itself. I was like, man, I kind of would have. Man, this could have used at least one or two more if y'all like had a story there, but
like now looking back on it, as we're talking about issue number 35, someone in the comments mentioned that it what did they say? They said it seems like a lot of people of color mutants really got no play besides a couple, one or here and there. Honestly, I didn't even think about it, but now that I look back on it, it's true. Like, we didn't get to see an outcome for Sync, or any of these characters. Like, Sync is the one I really cared about because like I've grown to really love him and everything that he can do, and it kind of he just fell off after the battle with Orcus, and then he was just kind of gone.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, what are we doing with him now?
He shows up for like, I think a panel or two, and it's just kind of like, all right, cool, bye. Well, that's kind of what it felt like. It was I feel like it really depended on the characters. Like, I felt like like, you know what it was? There were small things. It was like little small things, and like, I think Storm was probably the one that got the most of probably anybody. But like, and Bishop got a little too. Like, but his was kind of like spread, like his was very spread out.
Yes.
His was very spread out. Sync got to lead the X-Men, but I feel like the closer you got to the end of this, he just disappears. And it was very disappointing too, because it was kind of and maybe I read too much into what he said, but it was kind of insinuated when I was reading this interview that Tom Brevoort did, where he was asked about where we would see Sync in in the From the Ashes stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I can't talk about Sync yet." And I was like, "Oh, so maybe Sync's fate is tied to something that happens either in Fall of the House of X, Rise of the Powers of 10, or in this issue." And it's like, no, he doesn't.
We're not telling you anything.
Yeah, he doesn't come up at all. It was like, oh, okay, that sucks. And then you had like characters like Frenzy got some opportunities, but like those were kind of few and far between, just because of the books that Frenzy was relegated to. Though I am glad to see she'll be doing more, hopefully, in X Factor. I know she's supposed to show up in Storm. And I also thought it was sad too that some of our other characters, like Richter, got a lot to do early on in Excalibur, but then Richter kind of fell the fuck off. And it was just like Sunspot was getting to do a little something, and then Sunspot just fucking disappeared. It was just like,
and like we were talking about Thunderbird. They brought in Thunderbird, and they're like, guess what? We're gonna bring him in, but we're not gonna do anything with him.
Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here.
We're gonna use him. We're gonna use him in one issue. I think it was an annual. They're like, and then we're done.
I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the method behind the the madness of it. It just didn't make sense. To make such a big deal, because I remember for Thunderbird especially, they made this huge deal about bringing him back in Trial of Magneto, because it was like, oh wow, we got the waiting room now, so we can literally bring back anybody. Doesn't matter when they got killed off or whatever. And it's like, oh dude, Thunderbird, this dude's been dead for like 5 ever, and like y'all bring, dude. I was like, this is so fantastic. I was like, oh man, because I love Thunderbird, but like, it's like, man, dude, like I said earlier, X-Men Red, it seemed we got a hint, we got a crumb of what Thunderbird could have been. And I think they used him once or twice in New Mutants before that series wrapped, and it was just like, I was like, why did we bring him back to just put him back here, like put him back on the bench? Like, it's like there was a story there, and I feel like they just didn't take the time. They didn't take the time I think was necessary to really let it cook. And I and that's probably the one bad thing when you have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to characters, is that you're always going to have characters get left out in the cold. But man, I feel like in 5 years you could have done something. Like granted, he was only around for like maybe half of that, but like you could have done something with him. He could have done like there's one. I mean, he got a giant size issue. I guess I guess we were asking for too much. We might have been asking for too much. But no, we got let's see. And I think I saw someone else are kind of saying something kind of similar. Definitely feels we needed some Sync in there, especially how he was positioned for all the Krakoan era. That's the thing. Sync was carrying the torch. He was the guy that was basically he was the leader. He was the leader. He was the guy who was like calling the shots. and making sure that stuff was getting done. And it breaks my heart because it's like, man, dude, y'all talk about fumbling, man. Like literally, you fumbled at the one, man. All you had to do, like honestly, just to shut me up. All that bullshit that was going on with Apocalypse, you could just put him in there, had him do a little something, have him stun on Apocalypse a little bit. But no, we didn't get that. But yeah, the rest of it, and here actually, guys, we got some super chats here. Let's dive into some of that. We'll dive into some super chats. We got King to King said, I hate how they pump faked us sync. No Professor S for us. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like so I'm actually curious what you think about this, Bryan. You remember how they did with Rise of the Powers of 10 #1? They kind of showcased like the future. Yeah. And it was like, oh man, hey, check this out.
Shadow Cat.
Yeah, we got like an actual like little like a Shadow Cat that's pretty much damn near a shadow. We've got a Captain Krakoa that is Miss Marvel. We've got Miss Marvel. We got like Sync in the Professor X chair.
Yep.
And it's like, oh man. I was like, dude, what is this setting up? Like, oh my God, this is gonna be wild. This ride is gonna be wild. And you get to the end of Rise and it's just like, yeah, no, this was all bullshit. Don't don't worry. Don't you worry about that, man. I felt like I got shook out of my shoes on that one.
Yeah, it was cool to see it, but again, it's just something that they just didn't really do anything with. No. Like, it was just like a throwaway thing to be like, oh, this is a cool what if, but we're not actually going to do anything like this. We're going to go in the opposite direction and go back to just regular things.
And which I mean, like I said, it's crazy because I felt like Fall was the regular shit book.
Yeah.
Like that felt like, okay, this is the shit this is this Milky Way ghetto shit going on over here. Rise is where we're getting into like the crazy cosmic shit. And it was kind of like, no, not really. It's they're all just kind of doing whatever.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm curious about too, because we got let's see here. Oh, we got my boy here, Gearless Mo. Oh man, here, Mo, I wasn't ready for this, so I gotta take a swig of some water here. After Wet the Whistle, we gotta sing this one. Oh man, Gil Smoke, thank you for that. 1999. Super chat. I appreciate you, pimp. We got Gearless Mo says just showing support. That other link still isn't working for me. Man, we gotta figure that one out for you. I don't know what is going on there. Says this was an okay ending. It was rushed, and that's kind of my thing. It was very rushed. It was like that Micro Machines commercial guy. The mansion is out, so where are the X-Men calling home? And like, I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with the Micro Machines guy. I have fond memories of him, mostly because I couldn't understand what he was saying. But yeah, it was like someone talking at 8 times speed. The story is being kind of fed out at 8 times speed, and yeah, we get to this point where the mansion is a prison, and I still have no idea how that's all going to ultimately play out, but everyone's spread out. The X-Men are in Alaska, the Uncanny X-Men are in Louisiana, the Exceptional X-Men are going to be in Chicago. I think X-Force is going to be based out of Georgia, so like no one's in the same place, not at all.
Yeah, they're just going all over the place. I think Cyclops is setting up in an old Orcus base, though.
Yeah,
I guess if you want to say like the X-Men, him and what's the Beast are setting up at that Orcus station in Alaska. So I guess that's where the main X-Men title is going to be taking place.
Yeah, you're gonna get Jed MacKay is gonna be cooking out of there, and it's kind of funny too because as far as I'm aware. As far as this book goes, like just some of the things we've heard about it, I mean, I feel like this is going to be some interesting stuff. I don't really know Jed MacKay to be like a bad writer on any level.
Yeah.
I think his blade can use some work, but yeah, that's a story for another day. You know, it just further affirms me that Blade is not in his right mind in Blood Hunt. But yeah, like I thought this was kind of cool. Like I was like, okay, yeah, you're kind of doing to Orcus what they did to you. Like they took your stuff, reverse engineered it against you, and now you're taking their stuff and you're reverse engineering it against other like anti-mutant groups. I was like, I can kind of rock with that. You know, it is, yeah, that's I definitely can rock with that. The thing with you know, we got, you know, Gambit and Rogue, you know, they're having their second honeymoon, you know, hanging out, doing the thing. Hey, Devontae coming through on Blur Club. I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you. Love to see it. Love to see it. But no, I think that in this here they actually got a message that said, I didn't and still don't expect every sentence spoken in the Krakoan epoch to be punctuated, but with all the threads, teams, and timelines, you think that we would know more about these individuals. Well, okay, so that's kind of the thing here. Like, I don't expect it either. I don't expect like every plot thread to get like spoon fed out. But if you tease some shit, like you should probably follow up on it at some point. Like
just a little bit.
Yeah,
Close
yeah.
it out.
Oh, yeah,
a little
yeah.
closure.
Well, and I think I don't did you see this? It was an interview. I think it was Jordan White, the guy who was, you know, kind of over the X Office, kind of the editor for the X Office, had done some recent interviews talking about, you know, things that could have or should have happened that ultimately didn't happen. And like you know, and it was some of it was stuff I had forgotten about. Like the stuff with Phantom X and the giant size X-Men stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
And how they were like, oh yeah, we were never really gonna do anything with that. We were just messing around. I was like, this is the type of shit I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mess around, but I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it. Like,
Yeah.
like if a storyline doesn't work, then yeah, sure. You it's okay. I think it's okay to leave bad stories behind. I think it's okay to do that. You tried, it didn't resonate with the fans. You go, we'll just go and get rid of that.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people were interested in that. Like people were like, oh hey, the world. Like, okay, how is this going to connect to, you know, everything else? Like there was a lot of stuff that was teased. Like, where's all this going to go? And then, you know, it ultimately becomes nothing.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
you
No,
know.
I feel you 100%. Like they definitely did that, and it just sucks that they did because there's a lot of potential. Like I said, there's a lot of characters like Tuca. I still want to know like so much more about Tuca.
Yeah.
Like that's such an interesting mutant that's like god tier, like above Omega, and like barely even used except for a handful. Like, oh, I'm gonna rescue Eden real quick and a couple of his friends. We're gonna hide from Enigma in the stars, and that's the last we ever see of her.
Well, it's sad too, because like you see, when you do see her, like I feel like her scenes are very impactful, but once again, they're so few and far between.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, and you know what, here I actually want to pull this up because this is actually one of my absolute favorite moments. This was actually X-Men Red. X-Men Red, I forget the exact precise, I think it was like 13. It was issue 13. There's a part where, you know, Lactuca basically tells Genesis, you come get this work. You can come get this action.
Yes.
And you see Genesis doesn't even respond. Like she doesn't even respond. Like she doesn't even acknowledge Lactuca because she knows Lactuca will get that ass.
Yeah, she said, "You want the smoke? We can do this. We can
Yeah.
play this game if you want to go down that route. You know who's gonna win. Like I'll run you over even with that staff in your hand, and you know it."
It's like, look, I got it. Look, I will literally knock the stars out of you. Like I will beat the sweet tea out of you, Genesis. You have no idea. And literally, she doesn't have any answer for it. Like she knows.
Yep.
But no, that particular aspect of it kind of bothered me a little bit. That we never really did get that. But you know, I gotta admit, with the stuff that was going on, all the kind of I guess kind of the closing out, like this is where they are now stuff. It's like, yeah, pretty much that whole back, like last, like I think 10 or 15 pages is literally all about getting
from the ashes.
Yeah, like it's just, hey, let's get in the door. Let's tell you where these people are gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna see Kamala's gonna return in NYX. We know that. She's gonna be with Lara Kinney and Prodigy and Null, and I think it's Sophie Cuckoo. I think it's one of the Stepford Cuckoos that's gonna be there. Havoc, which man, dude, I feel so bad for Havoc. Havoc has gotten shit on in the Krakoan era. And I'm just like, dude,
he's not had good luck.
Nah, I was like,
I am interested in what they're doing with Forge.
Yeah, like so. And I don't know. I want to see if you're on the same page I am on this one. So we got Air of Apocalypse coming up. Forge is going to be a part of that. I can't help but wonder because they're kind of showcasing that something's not right with him, like something's off. Part of me wonders if he might be the one to fuck up and win that shit.
That would be, and it wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that he can come up with on the top of his head, like. He could easily win a competition given the right circumstances.
Yeah.
So who knows, man? Like it would be funny to see Forge turn Era of Apocalypse.
Like it's just one of those things. It seems like it's almost too obvious. Like, I mean, to be fair, as far as like, that whole story arc goes, my money is still on Armageddon Girl getting that distinction. Maybe Richter is a close second. At least those are the two that make the most sense to me because I think they have changed the most drastically over the course of House of X. But yeah, I'm curious to know, like, man, Forge is he can't catch a break. Havoc can't catch a break. And then Wolverine is out here like running with the wolves and
yeah, I was like, what is that? I was like, what did you guys do to Wolverine?
I was like, he is out here buck naked.
Like Krakoa ends and he gets naked and runs with wolves. Like, what the? What are you guys doing to him?
I don't know. You know what it is? It reminds me of Bone Claw Wolverine. When Wolverine got his adamantium wig snatched and he ran off to Canada. As Wolverine is wont to do, and he was just hanging out with a wolf pack, and I was like, he's just doing his thing. Like the only thing, like it could not have been more on brand if it tried, like maybe if they took his nose off, like he had no nose and he had the bandana on. That's the only way it would have looked any crazier. But
Yep, that's just Logan.
That's that basically, yeah. No, that's. I will say this is the one of all the things they could have shown. This was the one that I think was the least surprising. Is Storm.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Oh yeah, and we got the I believe this was in Women of Marvel earlier this year. We saw Storm in a very similar position. On the world stage, handling business,
region of Araco,
just
entire planet of mutants.
it's like, look, I'm kind of a big deal on Araco. Just don't, just ask somebody. It just, but I'm curious to know because we know that we have the upcoming Storm solo series and. That series seems to be kind of poking at some very different shenanigans for Storm. Not to say none of this can't factor into it in some way, but it seems like and I'm actually okay with this. I've said this for a while. If From the Ashes did to Storm, like if they did some kind of deal where they're like, hey, look, you don't lead a team anymore. You've graduated. Charles is for the streets. He's for the streets. We can't do anything with him. And Magneto is tired because I know by the time we get to Jed McKay's X-Men, Magneto is supposed to be significantly aged up. So I don't know what's going on there. We don't get an answer for it in this.
That's interesting because he looks significantly aged down ever since his resurrection.
That's the shit, and that's why I always say, man. Sometimes I worry about solicits, because like sometimes they can give away the game, and other times they just raise more questions than answers. Because like when I think this was at the most recent Comic-Con is when we got this little nod, and it's like I'm seeing these designs, and I'm like, man, dude,
like
Magneto
90?
is looking. I was like, dude, I said, my man's is looking haggard. Like I was like, he looks as old as Ian McKellen right now. I was like, man, what happened to my man's? He came out he came out of the resurrection portal looking like new money, looking like a crisp new $100 bill.
It's like Batman Beyond Batman.
Right? I was like, next thing you know, you're gonna tell me he's got a cane, and someone's gonna break into the X Mansion and steal one of his old suits. That like is that what we're doing now? Is this a thing? But to put the finer point on it though, like, you know, we don't really know. I mean, it's I would like to see a Storm who might be maybe calling the shots for all mutant kind, like might be trying to be be the leader for all the people as opposed to just like a small group of them. I mean, I'd be here for it. And then of course Dazzler's just doing her usual shit. So
yeah, she's just partying, throwing concerts, going on tour, galactic tours.
I mean, as long as Lila Cheney shows up, I'm good.
Honestly, like if they bring Dazzler in, I would love for Taylor Swift to play her. I think that would be so fitting.
Okay. So that and see, and I'm glad you said that, because I was actually talking about. I've talked about this multiple times. I feel like Marvel dropped the ball. I feel like Marvel really dropped the ball on this. Because I remember when they were trying to make Luna Snow a thing, and they were like, "Hey, let's make some actual K-pop songs to tie in with our comics." And I was like, "Dude, that's brilliant!" Because it also happened. They were good. They were good songs. But like, I was like, dude, you got all this buzz around Taylor Swift, you potentially playing Dazzler in the MCU. And the buzz only gets greater with every passing day. And you literally have a Dazzler comic coming out, and y'all don't have any music ready. Like y'all didn't not
even a 30-second clip.
Right? Like, I mean, dude, just like a feature, like maybe you make up some bullshit, just have her come in and hum a few bars or some shit. But like,
straight up.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it's a missed opportunity in my opinion.
Yeah, it would have been, because regardless, you would have had people buying a comic that never would buy comics before. It would have been a great opportunity for Marvel in general.
Dude,
it would have been like Dazzler #1 sale. Like this #1 Dazzler would have been sold out. It would have sold out everywhere.
You wouldn't be able to get it. You wouldn't be able to get. As a matter of fact, you would have an entire generation of comics readers reading comics for the first time. I guarantee you. Like there would be an entire generation of people like you would fast forward like 20 years in the future, and you'd be talking to some of these people and be like, "Man, what got you into comics?" Well, I mean, I was a huge Taylor Swift fan, and then then they released a little 5-song EP that came out with this Dazzler comic, and I've been reading them ever since because the comic was actually really good. You can't make that shit up. I mean, people do that shit. Like there's lots of people who got into comics for reasons other than the comic itself.
100%.
So yeah, it is what it is. But I will definitely say, as far as like the real main event of this is Xavier. It's Xavier and Magneto. Xavier, man, I can't say enough, man. Xavier's trash. And
he became the Brotherhood. He became the worst version of Magneto.
You know what it is? They flipped.
Yeah, they straight up
flipped.
literally
flipped. Like,
yeah, because Magneto's like, no, I'm at peace now. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
He's like, no, man. He's like, well, and this right here, this is actually the panel here that actually killed me. Like this right here, where he says that because under normal circumstances, Magneto only gives a shit about mutants.
Yeah.
But here he's like, you know what? Human or mutant, we face the same enemy.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, how how did they come so far? Like, we have come so far that Magneto is now the bad guy, or Magneto's the good guy. Charles is the bad guy now, and it's like, and then just the whole thing, like, and I'm curious what you think about this, because, you know, the main idea of this is just that by the time you get to the end of it, Xavier he's reached out psychically, you know, to kind of check in on his people. I did mention Kate Pride earlier. It's mostly because I kind of forgot. But like, he reached out.
Bartender.
Yeah, she's a bartender. Like, she is probably doing the least interesting shit of anybody.
She's like in Connecticut or some shit.
Yeah, like she's chilling. She's doing her thing. I'm not mad at her. But like her, you know, all the rest of the X-Men, he sees them doing their own stuff. Jean Grey is literally reading him to filth. And just like, yeah, I can't do nothing for you, pimp. You are like, for the streets.
I'm not a priest. Like, I can't give you absolution. Get out of here. Like, I don't know why you're talking to me.
Right.
Like, you see, I'm busy. I'm trying to restart this star.
I'm doing.
You want to talk about you?
Like, look, I'm doing Phoenix shit. Okay. I'm trying to do Phoenix shit. All right. I ain't got time for you. Like, you're done. You're toast to me, okay? And then after this moment, you know, Xavier just kind of is like, oh man, you know what?
I suck.
Yeah, you know what? I'm done. I'm out the game. And it kind of seems like, I don't know how you read this, but like, I know for me, like at first it almost kind of seemed like he was resigning himself to, I guess, death. It kind of felt like.
I thought he was killing himself. I was like, oh, so he died. He decided to just shut his brain down and go comatose. I was like, okay, I'm down for that. And then it gets to the part where like they're transferring him, and they're like, oh yeah, he's in a coma. He's a vegetable. He's never waking up. And then his eyes open up. And it's like, what does that mean?
It's like what? Wait a minute. It's like, what is he doing?
So what are we doing here? I don't understand.
I'm as lost as you are. Like, I'll say this. I think that whatever it is that's happening here, I think maybe he did actually try to take himself out the game. I feel like something kept him from doing it. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like maybe there's something in there that, like, because like when you look at his eyes, you can tell it's almost kind of like one of those like it reminded me of sleep paralysis. Gotcha. It's like it looks like he's aware. Like it looks like he's probably wide the fuck awake, but he can't move, which is kind of nasty work when you consider this man spent most of the House of X era being able to walk around just fine as he wants. Now this man is tied to a hospital bed. I'm just like, wow, y'all say, you know what, fuck the chair. We're putting him back in the bed.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, like he said, he got into the mind of the world's greatest geniuses in case they ever decided to make a cage for him, and there's a loophole so he can do whatever he wants in any cage that they put him in. And so it's like, what the hell is Xavier going to do? We already saw what he will do. He made that dude jump off a building. So
which is like how to tell that you're the bad guy.
Yeah. You make a guy commit suicide. Like he's really become an anti-hero. He's become something like the Punisher. He's like, I'm gonna protect mutant kind, and I'm just gonna do it in the most violent ways.
Right.
When he could have easily just compelled that guy not to hate mutants. Instead, he compelled him to jump off of a building.
I don't know, man. This dude, he might have been for the streets though. This dude might have. I don't know. This
no,
guy,
I mean he's got mankind tattooed on his forehead. That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's done.
And that's the thing is how many times can you let him kill somebody and be like, well, the guy was a bad guy, so can we accept it? You know what I mean? How many times is he going to do this before it's just like, damn, he's killing all these people.
I mean, this guy went full. I mean, he went Sith Lord. This guy went Sith Lord. This is like his name is no longer Professor Xavier. It's Darth. It's Darth Xavier is his name. Or actually, no, Darth Charles. That's his name.
I was going to say Darth Charles.
Yeah, that's his name now. He's Darth Charles. I don't like, and, you know, honestly, I talked about this a while ago. This is something that kind of came up. All roads I feel like kind of lead back to Tom Brevoort because of just kind of where we're at right now. But like there was something he said that I agreed with in so many ways, because Charles has become that character that the more you go back and read some of the older, not older, but like some of those like kind of like early aughts, maybe late teens, early aughts to 18s, Xavier, you see a lot of parts of him where you're like, yeah, there's no way this dude could be a good guy. Like, there's no way. This dude literally hid the truth about a third Summers brother. Yeah. Completely wiped everybody's mind. There was even another X team that he literally left to die. And he also enslaved a sentient AI, a sentient, like an artificial intelligence. You know, you enslaved so that you could have something to train your X-Men. I was like, dude, you are smooth trash.
that's I think that's one of the greatest tricks that Marvel ever pulled, was making us all believe that Charles Xavier was a good guy because he was the leader of the X-Men. So how could he be a bad guy when he's fighting injustice? And then, like, every time he does something bad, we're like, okay, well, we can forgive him because of all the good he does. And now this is accumulated. We're looking back. We're like, damn, he sucks. Yeah. There's a lot better options in this.
It's like, man, could you imagine taking X-Men comics from today and going in a time machine and showing them to people who were reading the original X-Men comics back in the 60s? They would just be like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you like those X-Men comics? Yeah, the one with the people in the yellow and blue spandex. Yeah, the guy who wears all the red and purple. Yeah, he's the bad guy. Hey, check this out. What? Wasn't this dude just talking about like committing mass genocide on all humans? Like, okay. I mean, I guess. But I mean, it is what it is there. But no, what do you think about the new villain? That was, I mean, we've seen her teased up to this point.
Oh yeah, what's her name?
I think it was Dr. Ellis, I believe, or Dr. Ellis. Yeah, Dr. Ellis.
She seems to really hate mutants
a lot. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say she says the word mutie a lot. I'm just gonna go on a limb.
Yeah. No, I'm curious on her backstory. Like, I think I feel like it's just going to be very typical. Like, some mutants killed her family or something like that, and it was an accident, and it wasn't done on purpose. But she's angry at them anyway. Like, I feel like that's the route it's going, because she just, like, if you look at the Free Comic Book Day, where it has her talking to Prisoner X, which I'm obviously assuming at this point's got to be Professor Xavier. Yeah, and she just not happy at all. Like, I know you can hear me, like, screw you.
It's like, dude, she does not like
yelling
mutants.
yelling at the door. So I'm curious to see where this is gonna go. I'm not sure how I feel about, like, going back into just humanity hating mutants again, and we're back into the same routine. You know, they did just save you from your universe being eaten alive. But all right, like, we're gonna go back to wanting to kill them because they're not human, because they have the X gene. I'm not happy about that. Like, it feels like there was so much growth, and then we're just back to square one, even though we're not doing a reset.
Yeah, you know what I would have liked? I feel like you can have one. Okay, you can have one mutant hating group. Like, I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
Yes,
but I don't want it to be a repeat of, because that was actually one of my actual, like, only real criticisms of early Dawn of X was it seemed like anti-mutant hate groups were spilling out of the woodwork. It was like everybody had an anti or not, even if it wasn't an anti-mutant group, there were just too many factions that were just popping up out of nowhere. It was like you had Xeno, you had Orcus, you also had Mikhail. Well, even though technically Mikhail Rasputin's a mutant, but like, he's about as anti-mutant a mutant as you can get. He's like the Uncle Ruckus of mutants, more or less. So you had that going on, and he was also working with Xeno. You had you Fei Long, who initially was kind of operating on his own until he ended up joining with Orcus. You know, it was. Oh, and then you had. Oh, dude. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about this. I mean, they weren't an anti-mutant group, but they definitely killed some mutants. Was it the Cult of X or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
Or the Church of X, whatever the fuck it was called. I don't remember because I don't think anyone should remember it. But like, it was people who were literally trying to sacrifice mutants so they could get mutant powers, and it was like,
yes, that's right. Yep.
And that shit got dropped like a bad habit. Like, they had what was it? Ruben Brousseau. The fucking politician from the UK, and it was like you just had all these different like people that's kind of and then oh my God, these dudes disappeared so fast. Was it Hominis Verendi, which was basically like the old Hellfire Club from when God, who was on X-Men back when that was it Jason? I think it might have been Jason Aaron's. I think they might have been from Jason Aaron's Wolverine X. I've slept since then. Okay, I've slept since then. But it was just there were so many different groups that I was like, man, I can't keep up with this shit. Like
horticulture too.
Yeah, dude, them. It was like, oh my God, like y'all are.
Yeah, so and so exactly, this is just more of that. This is more adding in another organization that's got something against mutants, and you know, all of them are the problem. I'm hoping to get some better stories. Like I said, like it may be interesting to see them break off, do their own individual things, but I really do hope that we continue on some Morocco stories and stuff like that. Venture out into these other mutants that we have in existence. I am really looking forward to the Phoenix's title coming up.
Yeah, no, same.
I think that's going to be really, really a lot of fun. It's going to be nice seeing Jean Grey back with the Phoenix and her doing Phoenix shit.
Well, I mean, and I've been kind of saying this since the book was announced, like, because it just gave me this vibe. But like, I don't know if you ever checked out Dan Slott and Mike Allred's Silver Surfer. Like that was kind of the vibe I got from it. Like, just it seemed like it was gonna be Jean just out there, just doing shit. Like just out here handling business, and that's what I want to see. I want to see because we have had Jean as the Phoenix, but like we haven't had her as the Phoenix on this kind of a level where she's actually getting to go out and do stuff that is separated from the X-Men on this magnitude. So I'm happy for like and honestly the best case scenario for me, Jean gets her book, Storm gets her book, and then somewhere after those books come to a close, I don't know how long they're going to run for, but knowing Marvel, we all know 5 to 10 issues counts as an ongoing. So, so we're just going to say ongoings. But I would like for them to be longer than that. But it's like I think I was joking about this the other day. It's like the fucking Doctor Who is like is 7 a big number? In money, no. In comics, apparently for Marvel. Just it's
there was that issue, that wedding issue that came out. It was like the special wedding, never before seen wedding, and it was like $10 digitally or like $8.99. And I was like, there's no way, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm paying for a digital comic that's almost $10. Like, get out of here, bro.
No,
it's not happening. I don't want to see the wedding that badly.
No, well, and to be brutally honest about it, it wasn't necessarily. It wasn't bad, but it was not worth that type of money, not that type of scratch for something for what it was. Like it would have made like if you X-Men 35, I'd have been like, I guess, but like this, no, not quite as much. However, one thing I will definitely say is that whatever it is they do, we have 9 books. There's 9 books on the horizon.
That's still a lot of books, a lot of titles.
That is
for X titles.
Yeah, it's like here. I want to pull this list. I'm going to pull this list up just so we can kind of peruse it. But
they're really trying to market off of the X-Men coming to the MCU.
Yeah,
I think this is really what they're hugely focused on, is just like, let's get the X titles out there, and as we're dropping spoilers about this or that, Wolverine and Deadpool, blah 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 blah, we can try to get people to buy the comic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even going back to the classic logo, which I mean, to be fair, I mean, if you're gonna use a logo, use the classic one because I think it's the best one. But
Yeah, it's definitely just iconic.
Yeah, you see it, you automatically know. I mean, obviously, if you can read, you know what it is. But I mean, just saying, like when you see it, you know what time it is. Like when I see that logo, I immediately hear like the do 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 do. Like I hear it in my head already. Just it is what it is. You know, and it's the logo that I think everybody knows. But like you also like you got what is it? Jed MacKay, Ryan Stegman. That's a killer team on Adjectiveless X-Men. You've got Evel Ewing, Carmen Carnero. That's killer team on Exceptional X-Men. You got Gail Simone, David Marquez on Uncanny X-Men. That's a killer team right there. So I appreciate that they're putting the big guns on for this. So I have nothing bad. Like honestly, if it was just these 3 books and maybe a couple of the other ones down below, I know they're going to kind of drip feed the stuff out. I feel like, let me ask this. Do you think it's going to end up being just like how it was for Fall of X? You know how we were like getting like 5 issues here, 5 issues there? Do you get that impression for a lot of these?
I do feel like it's not going to be too many like ongoing
like
long
these
series.
Will be there, but like when you get down to like down here,
it's going to be like 4 issues, 5 issues.
Yeah. Wolverine will inexplicably get 50 again somehow against all odds. But like I feel like that's what I'm afraid of. I'm worried because it's like, man,
hell, if they bring Maverick back, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I mean, which I don't did we ever see what happened to Maverick after the Weapons of X? Did he come back up?
He helped Wolverine find Beast.
That's right. Yeah.
And then they kind of disappeared after that.
It's like Maverick's like, anyway, I'm out. He's like, you know what? He said X-Force Beast is gone. Guess what? So am I. But no, like I worry. I worry that some of these, like, I mean, some of them I think I can make a case like, yeah, like if you're gonna do like Phoenix and Storm, I feel like those should at least get 10. At least 10. I think you should let those get 10 so they can cook. You know, NYX I can see getting 5 because I think I'm trying to remember. I don't think NYX ever ran that long before.
Yeah, I don't think it was very successful either. It wasn't hugely loved.
No, not at all.
I am hoping that X-Force really does bring it though. I mean, I'm interested if they're gonna have Deadpool on the team or not.
Yeah,
because that was one of the things I mentioned in the other thing. I love Deadpool for the fact of the Krakoan era, just seeing him try so hard to get onto X-Force and then Wolverine constantly bullying him, not letting him on, and then eventually being able to pester him enough to like, all right, you can come on in.
Well, even with Omega Red, even like his interactions with like Omega Red, I was like, oh, this is so cute. Y'all hate each other, but you love each other too.
Omega Red fed him to a bear.
Yeah. I love to see it. I love to see it. But yeah, Deadpool, I think I like the idea of Deadpool being there. And then like I don't know like where the story's ultimately going to go with it, but I'm willing to give it a chance.
Oh, that a new comment just, and I'm wondering this too. Did you ever hear anything about Miss Mutant's mutant powers? Because I didn't read it. I didn't read any of the Miss Marvel stuff. Was her mutant power ever actually revealed?
Yes, it's basically the MCU powers. It's the MCU powers. The hard light it was literally just for
that's disappointing.
She basically gets they kind of mess around with it. It actually is more revealed through was the previous issue. They did a deal where they took some of the corpses of the old X-Men and they didn't resurrect them, but just reanimated them. They did something very similar with Ms. Marvel. And they took the body that from when she was killed off in Amazing Spider-Man. They took that body, reanimated it, and then activated its X gene. And then that was how you get the reveal of what her powers will ultimately be. And it was one of those things. It was kind of like, well, that's obvious. Like I was like, that's which I mean, I was like, hey, do whatever you want to do with it. At this point, I'm just kind of glad that it's done.
It's so weird that they made her seem like she was going to be very pertinent to mutant kind as a whole. And
Right.
it's just like, yeah, your power is just kind of your power that you already had.
I will say this.
Like the power that you have in the MCU. Like, we're just going to make it the same.
I don't know if you saw this or not. There was a little interview I saw making the rounds talking about why Gwenpool was made to be a mutant a ways back. It was basically because like they were talking about apparently Marvel had designs on retiring the character, so basically that was kind of what pushed that in that direction. I almost kind of wonder if this was maybe done for, you know, almost similar, like a little bit of MCU parody, but also for that as well. Because I feel like Ms. Marvel is one of those characters that, like, after they kind of did away with her solo series, they pretty much only showed her up in Amazing Spider-Man. That was like the only place you saw her for a while. And then they had like the Dark Web stuff, which nobody talks about.
That was just weird.
It's sad when Dark Web, the only interesting part of it was the X-Men side of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that worked out. But no, Ms. Marvel, her shit came out today. Her shit came out today.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I have to wonder about those things sometimes. But let me ask you this, and then we'll answer some super chats and get ready to head out. I'm curious, of all the titles they've announced thus far, what would you say would probably, like, you between like the three core X-Men titles, adjectiveless, exceptional, uncanny, got Phoenix, X Factor, Storm, NYX, X-Force, and Wolverine. What's the one like you're probably the most like excited for?
Probably exceptional.
Okay.
Just because Ewing's behind it, and I think he has the potential to do some real good there. I like Jed McKay here and there. It's really hit or miss with me. It depends on what he's writing, on if I like it or not. But I'm willing to see it out, and then behind exceptional is definitely going to be Phoenix, and then behind that probably Wolverine.
Okay.
Just because I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Wolverine in this new era. He's got a whole new direction that he can go. I'm excited to see what happens. Were they able was Dakin resurrected? With the other mutants, because that's what I'm interested too. And Kid Omega. I mean, I love Kid Omega. Kid Omega is one of my favorite mutants, and he died during the Sabretooth War. And so I'm curious but he's supposed to be in the future titles, so. Was he resurrected with part of that 15 million? Because they did say that it was the Genosha mutants. They didn't say it was any of the other mutants, but could it have been?
They did do like a little resurrection bit. They did a resurrection bit on, I think it was in X-Men Forever. And I think a little bit of it was in Rise of the Powers of 10, where they kind of they do like a throwaway line where they basically kind of say like, we've resurrected everybody. And,
yeah.
But the thing is, you don't think about it because, Rise is running, even though technically Rise takes place after Wolverine, you don't really think of it because, like I said, they've had these kind of mistakes that have popped up here and there. Yeah. I'll never let them live this down. The fact that like Toad has been dead for several issues and he just shows up in a random panel as if like he's not dead.
It's like, hey guys,
he's like, what's up? I'm here. He doesn't talk, but I mean, like, it's clearly Toad. Like, he has the same costume and everything. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I basically drew the assumption because characters that died in Dark X-Men, like Angel, and we also had other characters, like I think Fabian Cortez had died at some point and was brought back.
Even Havoc. I think Havoc even died.
I'm pretty sure everybody.
Dark X-Men.
Yeah, like he was basically a Frankenstein by that point.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I'm kind of with you. I'm here for exceptional X-Men. I'm a huge fan of Evel Ewing, and it's also a thing for me is because very rarely in life can I say that any people of color have actually written a core X title, like maybe a spinoff title, but never a core X title.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when you told me that the other day. I was like, that's insanity. I mean, of all the X-Men comics that have ever come out, that no person of color has ever had a lead title. What globe?
You've had some. You've had some, but no black people have.
That's crazy.
No black people have. Like, you've had, I think, oh God, I want to say Alyssa Wong has written something X-Men related, like other than Deadpool. Other than Deadpool, I know she's written something. There was somebody else, and you technically have got Peach Momoko. But like by and large, it's usually not very diverse in that regard. Like most of the so here's the thing: the number of black people that have written an X-Men title actually only recently jumped up. And it was because of Victor Laval's Sabretooth and his Sabretooth and the Exiles. It was because of Vita Ayala writing New Mutants and like I think an issue or two of Marauders. And then oh my God, why am I forgetting this brother's name? Oh God, I feel like my black card's gonna be stolen from me. I feel absolutely terrible that I cannot remember this man's name. Jay Holtham. I think Jay Holtham, I believe it was, did Bishop War College. And you also, and then you had all roads back to Thunderbird. The Giant Size X-Men Thunderbird issue was co-written by AEW wrestler Nyla Rose, who is half black. Yep. So it's like, but no core like actual dyed in the wool X-Men title has been written by a black person. So this will actually be the first, and it'll be a black woman. So I mean, I'm here for it. It's I'm interested. And it's mostly because of every X team. It's the one that looks the most different. Like, you got Emma Frost, you got Shadowcat, but like at the same time, you got 3 new characters who we've never seen before they all look pretty different. They don't seem like the typical stuff. I hope that the book does well. I will say though, for anybody just to get on my high horse, if you want these books to hang around, at least the ones you like, go pre-order them, because apparently, in a way that is so undeserving in the video game industry, but is actually deserving in the comics industry, they actually pay attention to that shit. So go do it. Pre-order the books, because otherwise they'll say, well, nobody's actually. I think that's actually a lot of the reason why Al Ewing's Avengers Incorporated got canceled, because nobody was pre-ordering it, and it got canceled by issue 2. So yeah, there's that's a lot of that. I will also say. Well, we got another one here. So yeah, we got quite a few. So look, we're gonna read some super chats and we're gonna get up out of here. We also, man, look, here's a doozy right here. We got one from the homies over at Hero Mode out here doing the thing. Love to see it. We got Galen right here, says, will X be handing his receipts to mutants over the $2 super chat? I mean, here's the thing. I personally feel like we ain't got to worry about Charles for another 6 months, 6 to 8 months. We're done with Charles after that. I think we're done with Charles at least until then. You're not going to hear too much from him. He's going to be awfully quiet. Let's see. We have also
plotting. He's going to be the next Maker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're. Oh my God. Don't get me started on that. That's oh my God. Ugh. Oh, dude, they're gonna bring into fruition all the rumors and speculation that people had about Charles in House of X.
Yeah,
it's not Charles, it's the Maker. I guess. I mean, Hickman just really likes that costume, y'all. I don't know what to tell you.
He does.
We also got another one here. This is Gearless Mo. This is actually something that I did not consider, and it's making me rethink my position on a couple of
God,
things.
I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope it is, because Cassandra Nova got the dirt, bro. They stuck her back in the past and they kept her ass there, but that she was there with Strife too, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, Strife. Well, yeah, because Strife was there. It was her and Strife.
Yeah, Strife and Cassandra Nova together, bro. In the past.
Oh my God, that okay. If this is it, I'm in.
Yeah,
if this
100%.
Is it, like, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Yep. I'm in. Yeah, dude, Cassandra Nova, especially if you think about like why he wakes up in the end, like, because you think about it, they started out together. Like, they started out together in the womb. And what if this is kind of her way of, I mean, she's technically kind of already handed him a receipt for the, getting put in the $1 million dream back when, back when they were in the womb together. But I like the idea of Cassandra Nova if that's the way they go.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way they go.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Oh yeah. Oh no, 100%. And by the way, thank you for that. 1999 super chat. Appreciate you. We've also got pop. We actually got a couple from Pop Culture Guy 3000. With the 499 says best thing Phoenix and Storm books can do is extend its life cycle as a crossover. And that's the thing I've been trying to say for a long time. Like I want when those books come, like when they do those books, have them meet somewhere in the middle, somewhere towards the end. And it says, just don't shit the bed with the ending like the recent. Oh man, Banner of War, Hulk, Thor, oh man.
Banner of War was interesting.
Oh man, that you know what?
A Hulk Thor.
Man, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't even feel comfortable talking about that book sometimes, just knowing what all has happened to Donny Cates since then. So I'm just kind of like, man, look, he was going through some stuff, man. Y'all, just, like I'm gonna turn into the was it leave Brittany alone? Like that's gonna be me with Donnie. Like leave Donnie alone. He did nothing. Like, but look, it ended kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. I love Donnie. Donnie knows it comes from a place of love. He knows I love him. He knows I love him. He knows. He knows. Even if he doesn't know, he knows. He knows. Like it's a like I tell him all the time. We got another one here. Says issue number 35 had the most beautiful conclusion to the Immortal X-Men Forever storyline I can imagine. I swear I nearly cried when Krakoa left the Earth with that great prose and Luciano on art. That was actually really cool. I actually also like seeing that tear. That tear that came out of Cyclops' eye. That was actually pretty baller. I thought they did a really good job with that. Like that was a like for the, just to kind of reiterate, knowing that Krakoa could have like, and I think that's the real lesson here. Krakoa could have been so much better had people just left well enough alone.
Yep.
Like if people stopped trying to like accrue power and pull shadow maneuvers in the background, Krakoa could have been beautiful. It could have been like this, but the reason why it couldn't be is because nobody would fucking buy it. That is a very boring book. You gotta have some conflict.
Very.
Yeah, you gotta have that conflict, man. You gotta have it. I'm sorry. I mean, I know we always say, "Oh, it'd be so cool if they did a book about this character," and there was just nothing going on. No, it would not sell. Even was it Hawkeye? One of my the Matt Fraction Hawkeye, fantastic book. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a slice of life, but it's a slice of life with shit going on. So there's a difference. Not you got to have something. And we've also got I am Gregor D hashtag where Sync. He's at home washing his tights. That's what he's doing. Wait, actually here, wait, I got him. I found him. I found him, y'all. I found him. Here he is. He's like right in there. There you go. we found him. We found him.
Standing.
He's just standing there. He's not doing anything. He's okay. He's just doing his thing. That's yeah. Also, man, love to see it, man. I didn't notice this at first. Oh, little Gabby's down there, man. See, you know what? I love it here. Also, like, where's that's actually, you know what? I have to pour through this again one day just to really soak it all in. But we've also got Revolutionary Dragon with the 5 says, do they count pre-order digital sales in or pre-order digital in sales or only physical at LCS? So here's the thing, I don't know, but for me, I feel like it doesn't matter. Matter. As a person who does not like to buy physical very often, that's all they're gonna get out of me.
Yeah, same.
That's all you get. I can't have any more. Like, I just got a stack of comics from in-stock trades, a bunch of omnibus collections and shit, and I'm running out of space for those.
Yeah.
Fuck trying to like house a bajillion single issues of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Too much.
no. And we've also got Don Heim here with the 2 says, Psst, get the likes up. Mutant hand gesture. Y'all know what time it is. Look, just remember, if you're out in the streets, you see somebody do this, it's not a gang sign. They're just trying to tell you they got problems. That's all they're trying to do. That's all they're trying to do. Rex Pizza says, Sync not being on the 700 cover as well. Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. I've been meaning to have a conversation with Pepe about that, but the air has only recently been cleared between us, so I'm gonna let that one kind of ride. I think I talked about it like on the cave last week, but I had a recent interaction with Mark Brooks.
Oh yeah.
Me and Mark Brooks got into it for like all of 2 seconds. But and it was because of my criticism of Pepe Larraz in that X-Men 700 cover. But once he realized where I was coming from, it was like, okay, cool. I think he thought for a second I was one of the chuds. And I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm not a chud. I said, my criticism comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
If I criticize you, it's because I care about you. If I don't care about you, I wouldn't even say anything. But that said, yeah, that y'all know how I feel about that. I'm not gonna rehash it, but it's well documented. But you know what is not well documented is that y'all haven't gone over to Bryan's channel and hit the buttons. So I'm gonna need y'all to go do that. Bryan, can you tell the good people where they can always find you?
Comic Breakdown on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok. I've actually started uploading some videos to TikTok since they started opening it up on how much you can upload on there.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of videos up there, but that's nothing of a priority. If you want the content the quickest, that's YouTube, Comic Breakdown. We got a lot coming out. Actually, we just dropped the full story for Fall of the House of X. I think that was like a 4-hour video.
Good God.
So we got it from Trial of Cyclops to issue number 35, covering every single bit of it. Well, not all of it. We left out the Miss Marvel stuff.
There you go. Yeah, you didn't miss. You honestly don't really miss a whole heap of a lot. But yeah, it is what it is at that point.
Yep. And I also want to say, anybody that's not subscribed to Blerd already, y'all need to hit that button. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, bro, he's 3,000 away from 100,000.
Yeah,
3,000 away from getting that button.
I would really like to get that button.
Hell yeah, dude! I want you to get that button. That's what I've been striving for the last freaking 4 years.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna get my button. We're gonna get you the button.
Hell yeah!
And we're gonna keep the door open. We're gonna keep the door open because everybody else. We're gonna get you the buttons too. So yeah, this is a rising tide. I say this all the time. Rising tide lifts all ships.
Yep.
Rising tide lifts all ships. So as far as I'm concerned, if Bryan's platform is doing well, my platform is doing well. If my platform is doing well, his is doing well. Everybody else's is doing well. I want everybody to eat. And yeah, we're gonna get it there. And you've actually had a lot of really good growth lately. So I think you're gonna get there. I think you're gonna see it sooner rather than later. I think so.
Yep.
But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for hanging out and just kicking it with me, talking about this this Herculean sized book of X-Men. And if you have not done so already, hey, look, the pleasure is always mine. If y'all haven't done so already, go check out his video for X-Men number 35. Go check out his Ultimates video. Go check out the whole thing. Go check out everything. Just go click buttons. You see a thumbnail, you click on it. And you watch it. And it's free. It's totally free. You don't have to pay anything. So yeah, I want you guys to do that, please. And also, because I actually missed this. I can't believe I missed this. I'm Gregor D. How'd you let me miss this? Gregor D out here gifting subs on Twitch like a madman. out here. Love to see it. And yeah, I really, really, really appreciate everybody's love out here. We will catch you guys next time. I'm gonna get out of here because it's dinner time for me. And I have done a lot of work. I still have videos to edit. I think Bryan still has videos to edit. So we're gonna get out of here. But make sure I have Bryan hyperlinked in the description. Go check it out. He's also in the title. You can click on either one of those, go straight to his channel, and go do all the things. And we will see y'all next time. And I guess I usually tell people to go to hell before I get out of here, so I guess I'll do that. So for Bryan of Comic Breakdown, I am the Blerd without fear. Who can go to hell? Oh, I know who. And Charles Xavier, you can go to hell. Yeah.